My best friend had been secretly recording our conversations for her popular pastel day. I became her live guest without her knowing. I first noticed something strange when a woman approached me at the grocery store. "Your advice about leaving that toxic relationship saved my life," she said, hugging me before I could respond. "I listen every week." I smiled awkwardly, assuming she'd confused me with someone else. 3 days later, a barista wrote talks for the grad school pep talk on my coffee cup. When I asked what she meant, she looked embarrassed. "Oh, you are not Megan's best friend from Just Between Us. You look exactly like her profile picture." Curious, I searched the post. There it was, Parrot Just Between Us, with Megan Taylor paired, with over 500,000 subscribers, and a profile picture of ME laughing at something off. Pemmer, the description, listens in on raw, unfiltered conversations between best friends as they navigate life's biggest challenges. My stomach dropped as I clicked play. Megan's voice, Parrot, my supposed best friend of 8 years, Perrin, filled my headphones. My bestie had another dating disaster this week. Wet till you hear this train wreck. What followed was our private conversation from last Thursday. Parrot, my embarrassing date story, complete with my distinctive laugh and voice barely disguised by slight audio distortion. I binged through episodes, horrified. For 2 years, she'd been secretly recording our coffee dates, phone calls, and even intimate conversations about my fertility struggles, family issues, and workplace harassment. My entire private life had become content for strangers. Some episodes had millions of downloads. She was making thousands monthly from my traumas and vulnerabilities. Instead of confronting her immediately, I made a plan. Megan had invited me to coffee to catch up, Parent, which I now realize meant harvest content. I agreed but arrived early and spoke to the Casberry manager explaining the situation. He was furious on my behalf and allowed me to use their sound system. When Megan arrived, I hugged her as usual, noticing how she positioned her purse on the table, part phone peeking out, recording. We ordered our drinks and chatted while I waited for her to steer the conversation towards something past-worthy. So she finally said with practiced casualness, "Any updates on that situation with your boss, the one who keeps texting after hours?" That was my cue. I smiled warmly. Silly, I'd been meaning to discuss something interesting I discovered. I pulled out my phone and pressed play on her latest episode featuring my voice. Her face went from confusion to horror as her own introduction played through the Casamedi speakers. "Welcome back to Just Between Us. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hernia, use code BSI for 10% off therapy. Trust me, after hearing today's story, you might need it." "What's wrong, Megan?" I asked, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "You look like someone just exposed your secret past to the person you've been exploiting for content." The classmate fell silent as I continued. "This is a special live episode, everyone. Today we're discussing the ethics of recording people without consent and monetizing their trauma. I am the best friend who didn't know she was a past star." Any questions from our live audience? Several Casamedi patrons, Parent, now realizing they were witnessing the confrontation of a pawist. They recognized Parent, pulled out phones to record. One woman actually raised her hand. "I've been listening for months. Did you really not know?" "Not until last week," I answered. "But don't worry, Parent, I've downloaded all 147 episodes as evidence for my lawyer." Megan grabbed her purse and fled, knocking over her chair in the process. Later that day, Just Between Us disappeared from all platforms. My phone flooded with messages from mutual friends, sharing spirits of Megan's apology post. Parent, not to me privately, but to her followers for the unexpected end of the show. I never responded to her texts. Instead, I started my own pawest called Boundaries, about rebuilding your life after betrayal. First episode: when your trauma becomes someone else's content. Sometimes the most powerful thing isn't what you share, but what you choose to keep for yourself.